Hey y'all. So I just wanted to share this testimony with you and just what's happened to me the past, 72 hours. Really since Saturday, but really this has been really like from June. So most of y'all know I'm in transition. When am I never in transition? But it's for the Lord, and just really heed into the Lord's instruction. Brought me on a journey. Y'all know I've been at home, X, Y, and Z. Still here, but obviously y'all know waiting on the Lord to do what He's gonna do. So, let's see, where do I want to start with this? I would say I think back in June. I think the end of June, I was in prayer one time, and money can, I don't want to say stress people out, but it's true. Like, you get anxious over finances, you get anxious over, like, Lord, like, I'm supposed to make it happen, all these different things. But when you're in a season of transition, like, He will also teach you to, when I say be still, like, we know the verse, be still and know that I'm God. Like, I lived that out this weekend, and I'm just basking in His goodness of this past weekend and what it happened. I'm not going to go into detail with it, but just snippets of it. So the Lord told me back in June, I forgot, I don't know what day it was, but I was praying about, like, what do I do about finances? Because, a financial situation hit really hard in June, and obviously, like, the Lord's gracious, I recovered from that. But I was just like, what do I do, Lord, about finances? Because, like, I just didn't know what to do. Like, no jobs are opening up, like, nothing that I wanted. And I'm in a season of, like, not settling in my life. Like, there are things that I want to do right now. There are things that I want to accomplish right now. And be quite honest, it's full-time entrepreneurship. Like, that's what I want. That's what my heart is craving. And I don't want to settle. And so the Lord literally told me, be patient, I'm coming. And He told me to do nothing. When He said that, I thought I was like, this ain't from you. I said, this is not from God. Like, I was like, how do I sit and do nothing? So my anxious self was trying to apply for work. Now, I'm in a season where I can move forward, but at the same time I can't. I can stay where I'm at, but I don't feel called to stay. So I'm like right in the middle. And I go back to Exodus 14 all the time. If you need encouragement, I really encourage, if you are in like a tight situation, if you're like in the middle of something, I encourage you, read Exodus 14. It'll bless your whole life. Read the whole chapter. Bless your whole life. It's parting of the Red Sea. It'll bless you. It's not even about the sea itself. It's more of what the Israelites were up against and what they were facing and how they felt. That's what I want you to focus on if you ever read it. If you're like me right now, I encourage you to read it. So He literally told me to do nothing. And I was like, you're crazy to do. You're like, Jesus, what? So I applied for jobs. Nothing was coming back. I thought that this one job was it. And I said, Lord, I said, if it's from you, you will bring it back around. Because, He's full of grace. And so if you miss an opportunity, He'll bring it back around. It may take a little bit longer, but I was willing to sacrifice that if it was going to come back, even longer. That's fine. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, the reason I needed work was because I was in a wedding in July and I needed to get back to North Carolina. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm about to get back. Like, nothing's opening up. No way's opening. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And so literally the week of wedding, I'm panicking. I'm like, I don't know how I'm about to get there. But again, Lord's grace, I got there. Literally, like, the day before I was supposed to leave, booked a flight, literally headed to the airport 5 a.m, like, insane. Like, you talk about, like, on the go. Like, that weekend I was on the go. And so, I get back from the wedding. I'm like, all right, Lord, what's next? Nothing's still opening up, nothing. And I go back. It popped in my mind. He said, do nothing. And I'm just like, you're crazy to do nothing. Like, the be still know I'm God, like, for real. End of July hits. End of July, y'all. I'm like, you know what? I was talking to a friend and she said, get in Lord's presence, which I kind of was, but like, not like my heart. Like, I had to pour out some things. The Lord had to heal me of some things in His presence, and it was so beautiful. And I had to tell God, y'all, I'm getting my eyebrows done soon, I promise. I had to get to the point where it's like, I will surrender my bank account to you. I surrender to you. I said, if I go into overdraft, I've done everything in my strength I know to do. Everything. I applied for jobs. I mean, I didn't want to stay where I'm at. I love home. Home is never the place. I know I'm supposed to go forward. Like, I know I'm supposed to go forward. Like the Israelites. I'm going forward, going to the promise. So, like, I knew, like, me applying for jobs here, it's like I would have to stay. And I'm like, I can't commit here. Like, my heart isn't here. I'm not supposed to commit here fully. I was home for a season. It was beautiful. And I had to be like, if I go into overdraft, I surrender my bank account. Because I'm like, I don't know what else to do. I didn't feel the need to ask, because I'm like, you know what, Lord, you will provide. And so if you're going to do it, you're going to do it however you're going to do it. Long story short, he came through. Now, mind you, came through in like a millisecond. Just like, I was like, oh my gosh, the provision that I needed for like the entire month is here. The day before my bills are due. But what I really want you guys to grasp is that, like, he told me, don't worry. Like, he literally spoke through a woman of God, and the last thing she said, she spoke over me, the last thing she said was, and God said, don't worry. When you receive a word, and you know it's a prophetic voice that hears from God, and you know it's a Lord, and it speaks your situation, when I tell you cling on to it and know that God is faithful, I'm not even kidding. I was so anxious, but I'm like, anxious for what? And that goes to my post that I posted yesterday about focusing. I am supposed to be focused on a specific assignment. There's something that God heavily needs my attention on. But what did the enemy do? He sent finances as a distraction to distract me from doing what I know I'm supposed to be praying over, interceding over, and focusing on. So again, if you are in a situation, please have your heart open, ears open, eyes open, your sleep. Make sure God protect me in my sleep, because he's going to speak to me through dreams. I'm telling you, he's faithful. He will come through. I am blown away by this testimony. And today I was listening to the Elevation song. I had to sit in his goodness, because I was like, oh my gosh, why did I ever worry? You told me not to worry. You sent a woman of God saying, don't worry about the deadline. Y'all, it was to the point where my credit card bill, I'm gonna put out there, nobody really knows that. My credit card bill was like really, really late. Like, it was, like, really, really late. And I was just like, you know what? I had to surrender. Like, I had to be like, if my credit score gets jacked up, I've done everything in my strength I know to do. You didn't call me to stress out about finances, because Jesus clearly says don't worry. And so what I want to leave you with today as a testimony, and I really, really pray that somebody gets this, not even kidding. The Lord is faithful. He's faithful. That's it. Faithful. Whatever you're facing, finances, you need a job, faithful. Like, I sat in his goodness today, because I'm like, I even told him, I'm not worthy to be your daughter, because I did not believe you. I doubted your ability to come through, and he came through in seconds. So if God is calling you to do a specific assignment, if he's calling you to focus on something, do that. Don't worry about the extra. That's his part. That's his part. I'm not even kidding. That was the Lord's part. Take care of me. He takes care of me. He takes care of me. That's point blank, but a period at the end. There's no but. No, he takes care of me. However he was going to come through, I didn't know how, and I didn't care. So just as an encouragement, the Lord is faithful to focus on your assignment. Just focus on it. Focus on, if you're supposed to be studying for an exam and you're worried about finances, focus on the exam. If you're worried about a job, but if the Lord is calling you to study for a job or apply for a specific job, just focus on it. Don't worry about the exterior. Don't worry about all that's around you, the chaos. I was telling someone, the chaos that's around you, because there's something that needs your focus. The enemy will distract you. I lived it out this weekend. I lived out the distraction this weekend. And now I'm so confident now that another word he's spoken, now that's really going to come to pass. And now when I am wherever in life and I know we have to focus on something, I know it because I lived through it. And so I pray you watch the end of this. It's probably like a 10-minute video. I'm watching my time right now. But please, please, please know the Lord is faithful. He's for you. I'm telling you. You may think that he's not. I'm telling you. And he came through the day before my bills were due. I'm just saying. So just literally as an encouragement, I'm a living witness of it. The Lord is faithful.